What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Cold Pursuit, new movie out with Liam Neeson. I know it's a controversial thing to go watch a Liam Neeson movie. You know, it's a controversial thing to almost see anything or listen to anything because somebody involved might be a shithole. But I went and saw it because I felt like going out to see a movie, and there really wasn't anything out that I felt like I needed to watch. I felt, maybe this is a, so bad it's good kind of a movie because there's nothing really about it that made me feel like I was making a good decision going into this movie. I just realized looking up, prepping for this episode, that the director of this movie made this basically a remake of a movie he made like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. He's a Norwegian director that made this movie called what is it called? It's not even on here. In Order of Disappearance is the original name. I mean, it's translated into a Norwegian word, but that's the translation into English, which kind of makes sense considering this movie takes a lot of time to every time somebody dies, the screen goes to black. You see their name, and they each get a symbol, which seems like each symbol had to do with what they believe. So there were like, Roman Catholic crosses, Christian crosses, and then when the Native Americans die, there's different I don't know. I would imagine they're somewhat offensive imagery. I don't know how accurate the imagery is. But when the bad guy dies, guess what? It's a peace sign. This movie is fucking crazy. Just like Bala, I want to watch the original, although it's done by the same director. But I don't know how much he knows about the U.S. So this movie takes place in just outside of Denver, a town just outside of Denver. Liam Neeson plows the road that leads from Denver up into this mountain town, which I don't even know if it's a real mountain town. But, Liam Neeson, for whatever reason, this town loves Liam Neeson. The community gives him a big award for being the guy that plows the road. And, he's just this guy, and he has a wife that smokes weed. And then she kind of just disappears because so anyway. So Liam Neeson plows a road. He has a kid. His kid just randomly gets killed by a guy, this crazy guy with a mohawk. They drug him and then take him out to some community kind of tables, kind of a cafe kind of style tables. And they just kind of prop him up and leave him there as a dead person just left. And they hang out with him for a while and they're like, "Oh, see you, buddy." And he's just kind of there. And that's how they ditch the dead body. But yeah, so they kill, and then Liam Neeson, of course, needs to, find out who killed his son. That's the basic premise of this really bad movie. And then as far as bad guys are involved, quote unquote, there's the gangster guys, which, the bad guy who's the peace symbol guy, who in the original, I guess, was a vegan. In the description of the movie, it's I forget his name, but he has some nickname like Thor, and the bad guy, vegan bad guy, and then there's the drug dealer cartel, which I don't know. The bad guys, I don't know what they do. I don't really know. I mean, they're running drugs and it has something to do, but it's it's set in Denver and they're doing cocaine. And Native Americans are part of the cocaine trade, but then there's also these, I don't know, Italian, just some kind of generic U.S. gangster guys are the other bad guys. And during Liam Neeson's attempt to go find his son, there's some really comedic moments in this movie. There's some moments, where a comedy will just completely halt momentum while this slow thing, a scene easily that could be in Austin Powers or something. When he and his wife, Liam Neeson and his wife, go to identify the body, there's a scene in the morgue where they're jacking up the body of the son, and it's just this obscenely long scene that's they're standing there and the guy's just kind of pumping. You're not really seeing anything. Like everything's kind of off camera, except for you're seeing part of the arms like jacking and it takes far longer. Like there is clearly like a laugh break moment in the jacking up of this body. There's another scene involving a dead body also that's going up the back of like a truck, like a moving truck, and it's absurdly long. Like there's these weird scenes in this movie that are just out of nowhere the most comedic scene. Like this movie was shot to be like a goofy, like like a Dumb and Dumber kind of a comedy, but then recut to be more of like a Taken kind of shit. I don't know if that's what it was, but it seems like it. There's a kid that's involved that is the child of the bad guy. Just a horrible actor. He like forms this weird bond with Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson kidnaps him, and the kid's just immediately in love with him. One of the gangsters, one of the henchmen, like there's this weird gay love story between them, between two of the like henchmen guys that really is only like the scene before one of them dies. They throw this kind of weird love story in, which is fine, but it's just thrown in out of nowhere to supposedly give like this other gangster guy some like emotional motivation to do something, but nothing even comes from it. Like he doesn't even seem very upset. Like his lover gets shot and nobody knows that they're in love. So it's like, it was just like, we need to sacrifice somebody because he's mad or whatever. So they shoots him once. He falls onto like this inflatable couch. And then like, his lover is just kind of looking at it like, oh no. And then he shoots him again. So this time the inflatable couch deflates. Another kind of weird, in slow motion, kind of weird comedic moment. And then he shows a little bit more emotion like, oh, you just actually killed the person I love. But then nothing comes of it. Like that's not part of he doesn't exact revenge or like has like a turn of fate and tries to help out Liam Neeson because fuck my boss who's like anti-sugar. It's such a fucking, there's so much of this movie that's so random and weird. The fact that the bad guy has the peace symbol when he's dead, I have no idea. Like there's so much lost in translation with this movie. There's like this weird moment where the Native Americans are coming to kind of track down their money or their drugs or whatever it is. And they go to this lodge that's like everything's covered in this like white fur, like this every furniture, the computers, the floors, the ceilings, the wall, everything's in like this weird wispy fur. And they're like trying to get a room. And then they go out on the ski slopes and they're just like kind of, they're acting like children would in a commercial, in a bad commercial where they're like playing with snow, throwing snow at each other, these grown like supposed gangster men. And like one of them just goes off on like one of those paragliding things with, a fan on it. He's like, I just want to fly. And he takes off. And then the chief guy is just kind of doing this kind of quasi Indian like dance in slow motion. Like they're all maybe on peyote, but there's no scene where they're like doing anything. It's just, I would imagine the most stereotypical thing the director thinks Indians do on mountains. It's just so fucking weird. And then the very end of the movie, right? Very end of the movie, the kid takes off in a snowblower, just kind of takes off randomly, right? And the cop sees him take off. He's like, oh, there's a kid going in a snowblower. The Indian guy goes with Liam Neeson while Liam Neeson's got to do his shift clearing that road. Like after all the shit goes down, right? And they don't talk, the chief and Liam Neeson. The very end of the movie, the dude that flies off in the parasail, like you see him the next day. He's still flying. Like everything crazy shit happens at night, right? He's still flying. The next morning, I would imagine dead because he flew through the night in like the freezing Denver skies. He lands in the snowblower and gets like chopped up and blown out onto like the snow. And it's like this weird, like that's how it ends. And then it goes through all the people that died. Like it shows all their names again and then like starts, kind of infinity warring their names out. It's a horrible movie, people. That's all I have to say about this horrible movie. New episodes of this show come out daily. Subscribe on IGTV and everywhere podcasts are found. Binge the full week over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Inspireddisorder.com for all of my artwork. At Ray Taylor for me on all social media. Have a great day, everybody. Peace out.